Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some PathOfExile discussion. I think I found a way to kind of break the currency exchange. And what this is about is the fact that there are some limits on the ratios that are allowed to be set, and sometimes those limits are less than fair market value. So, what we have here is a reasonably close to fair market value buy order that I'm about to place for rogue markers. In fact, not only am I going to place this order, I'm going to place two of them. So I'm going to buy 980,000 rogue markers for 1,225 chaos orbs. The market can't immediately complete this, but in my experience, this is an order that will fill, and you will see it start to fill, at least the first one, as I place this order down. So I'm going to place both of those, and you'll see some people are selling to me already, and this is going to be a trade market order that is going to fill up over time. Now, why am I doing 980,000? Why did I not just do one market order for 1.96 million or maybe 2 million? The reason is that you have an absolute limit of 999,999 in the amount that you can request with a buy order on the currency exchange. Keep that in mind. That's not the important limit. The important limit will come up when we cash in. You'll see that my rogue markers are trickling in at a moderate rate and my chaos orbs are trickling out, but that this is not going to fill instantly. It's going to fill over a little bit of time. What we're going to do now is go and pick out some that I prepared earlier. These are some other rogue markers that I've got. What I'm going to do is I'm going to list them for divine orbs this time. And you might be wondering what's going to go on here. Why is there some big difference between rogue markers and divine orbs? Well, what I'm going to do is have a look at the market trades that are available. You'll see a lot of people are offering to sell their rogue markers, 65,000 markers to one divine. So firstly, let's see what would happen if I was to do that. I've got 130,000 rogue markers in my inventory, and so I can fill this order. Note the very low gold cost. Now, I'm able to place this order at this point. In fact, I have other orders that are exactly at this ratio. But I'm actually willing to sell cheaper than this in order to undercut the market. What happens if I try to sell for 65,001 rogue markers per coin? I get a message saying invalid ratio. The game is hard limiting the price exchange at 65,000 of one item for one of the other. So what I can do is I can join the queue to sell these rogue markers, and I can go at 65,000 to 1. That is not a fair price. That is something that is heavily biased in my favor. You'll see here that it's currently about 800 rogue markers per chaos, and that means that rogue markers are about 121,000 to the divine orb at the moment. But the currency exchange is not allowing you to place an order at that price. So what happens with all these ones that are 65,000 each? Well, they get filled last in, last out, first in, first out, which means that as long as people are willing to buy rogue markers for divine orbs, they're going to eventually get to mine. They're going to get to this order, which will be first, they're going to get to this order, which will be second, and they're going to get to this order, which will be third. In short, over time, my orders are guaranteed to sell as long as enough people are willing to trade divine orbs for rogue markers at this 65,000 rate. The key thing I want to tell people to do is actually don't trade divine orbs for rogue markers on the currency exchange. The mechanics of the currency exchange will disallow people from undercutting each other, and as a result, you'll end up paying something that's overpriced. Maybe it'll be one of my orders, maybe it'll be someone else's. Whatever the case, you are not going to get yourself a good deal out of the currency exchange and this particular transaction. What you should do instead, if you want to get rogue markers, is instead trade your divine orbs for chaos orbs, either through the currency exchange or through the old school system, and then at that point, put up a buy order like this one, go and do some other mapping, and then by the time it fills, you'll have all the rogue markers you need to do a whole bunch of heisting. In fact, 2 million rogue markers will last you a very long time if you were to actually run heist, even if you were doing really wasteful things like using Fecano unveils on entire wings rather than using Gianna ones. Anyways, that's a quick little pointer on how some of these hard limitations that are built into the currency exchange can result in some bad deals if you're relying on it. Just be aware of what fair market value is, and that way you won't end up making a donation to a flipper, which is exactly what you will be doing if you were to buy rogue markers from me or from any of the other competitors that have figured out exactly the same thing I'm telling you about here. May your Val orbs have interesting results.